you so much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me. I suppose we should travel right back in time. And how did you first get started in drag? How did that come about?
Well, I can tell you the true story. So basically, I was kind of managing a bar on Canal Street for a little while. I won't say where because it's not there anymore. It was great. And I kind of came up with this cool idea because all the gay bars, they were having drag queens running around the streets with their bits out, dragging people into their bars. And we kind of didn't really have a lesbian equivalent of that at the time. So I thought, cool, man, let's get a drag king involved. And at the time, we had some of the most amazing drag kings in the world in Manchester. And we were really leading the field 20 years ago for the whole art form of drag king. Anyway, I couldn't afford any of those people. So the long and short of it is, I thought, fuck it, guy, I'm going to do it myself. So 100%, I whacked on a beard and mustache. I looked fucking shocking 20 years ago, guys. Not even going to lie. And I door hoarded the shit out of my own nightclub. And then I performed, I hosted karaoke, I hosted other drag performers and various other things. All grew from there.
So for those who don't know and aren't aware, what is a drag king? How would you explain it to someone who isn't familiar with the art form?
Well, basically, a drag king, we're like the opposite of a drag queen, but we cost a lot less money. We get a lot less work. And there's far fewer of us that are famous, unfortunately.
And obviously, we started seeing the start of some representation on TV. I know we had Victoria Scone on Drag Race Canada versus the World, who did a Fabio impression, but it's not as promoted as, say, drag queens are. So why do you think that's not happening? Why do you think it's not getting the attention it deserves?
Honestly, well, it's gay male misogyny, man. Let's not even pretend that it's anything else. If you look at the history of drag kings as an art form, we've been around for hundreds of thousands of years. We've been around for the same amount of time. In war times, for example, when most of the guys, i.e. the drag queens, were off fighting the war, it was drag kings who were the music hall performers. We were the big acts of the day. And this has sort of gone backwards. But I think a lot of this has gone backwards, like I said, because of misogyny, with the best will in the world. I love what Victoria Scone said, and thank you so much for putting the drag king look on RuPaul, but genuinely, I don't want to be on RuPaul. I don't want to feel like my art is all of a sudden more validated because RuPaul puts a handful of token drag kings on their TV show. No, thank you very much. I shouldn't say this. Fuck RuPaul. We want our own show. We are equally valid. We have the talent. We have the ability. We want our own drag king show. We want our own drag king platforms. We want to integrate into what everybody else is doing, and we want to be equal, man.
Yeah, totally. And this idea of not your art form isn't more valued now that it's been on TV. It should always have been and will continue to be as valued as it should be.
Yeah. But then if you look at it, it's not just drag kings, So drag kings, that's one thing. But then you get into other valid forms of art and drag that have been around for thousands of years. You can check this in your history books, guys. I know you know your gay history. You can have a look. Martha P. Johnson was a trans woman of color who kicked off the Stonewall riots, yeah? Trans women of color were leading the Stonewall riots. Yeah, there was non-binary people, there was trans people, there was people of color. We've always been the same community. But honestly, you try seeing a drag king, try finding a person of color that's performing, try finding a trans person that's performing. We're all like rocking horse shit. We're that rare. You ain't ever going to see us on a main stage anywhere, guys. We have to make our own destiny and our own luck. Some places it's awesome. You go to London, you go to Birmingham, you go to Manchester, okay? You kind of get at Bristol, for example, with the Brizzle Boys. Big up the Brizzle Boys. You kind of get in there. So we're making a lot of positive differences, and you do see people on those stages who are people of color, who are trans, who are non-binary, who are drag king, AFAB queens, and everything in between. Problems seem to be majoritarily in slightly more, well, let's say slightly less inclusive scenes. So, for example, Cardiff. Look, they ain't ever going to book me in Cardiff, man. I'm so canceled in Cardiff. Nobody cares what I say. So I'm just going to come out and say it. You can see the events, you can see the bars, you can see the lineups of drag acts. Now you tell me how many people of color, because it's very few, how many drag kings, because it's very few, how many trans performers, because it's very few, if any. They're happy to preach respect and equality, but they do not put their money where their mouth is. Now, unfortunately, there are amazing performers like Che with a C, Ali Balmer, Isa Moore, me, and many, many others who just are not getting any kind of platforms in Cardiff. It's been the same for the past 20 odd years. It's the same white, cisgender, male drag kings getting 90% of the gigs in all the bars. Mm-hmm. Occasionally you get really lucky, and one of my friends like Ola Gide, or who's son of a tutu, by the way, or Sandra London, another buddy of mine, they're awesome, or Lady Bushra, Amir, another buddy of mine. You get occasions when these guys are booked, and you're like, yeah, some representation in Cardiff, man. But look, these aren't local performers. These are literally performers that people are kind of shipping in every now and again. There are local people in Cardiff who are trans, who are non-binary, who are people of color, who are drag kings, who need a fucking stage, man.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So
I'm calling them out.
So from doing it as a kind of, I hope you don't mind me saying, cost-cutting measure in the bar, how did this become your career, your passion? How did you get started in it being a job?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of found I liked it. I could pull girls, which is good. And I got to basically not be me. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but I suffer with anxiety and depression in my real life, because as we know, Nicholas Hoare is not a real person, everybody. Nicholas Hoare is a comedy character. But in my real life, I suffer with anxiety and depression. I'm also autistic. So I find it quite hard sometimes to be me. And when I get behind a beard and makeup and my hat, I can be Nicholas Hoare. So I can say the things and I can do the things that I can maybe never say or do as me, myself, and I in my day life, so to speak, So being able to just be that was so special and so awesome. I got to perform and not feel self-conscious or uncomfortable. I got to say the things that I want to say rather than the things that I'm told I have to say to fit in or be considered normal. Yeah. I could be me far much more as this character than I ever could as myself. Move the clock forward. I had a hell of a good time. I was gigging here, gigging there, gigging pretty much everywhere. I went into retirement for a very long time due to a multitude of reasons that I will not go into right now. But I went into retirement for a very, very long time. And it was only this year, actually, when I was at a friend's funeral at the Golden Cross, and I met my friend's drag daughter, Kiki Babs, who I'm sure you all know and love. Sarcasm. No, Kiki Babs. I love Kiki Babs. Someone's got to. Anyway, so I met Kiki Babs at the Golden Cross, and it was a case of, they just asked me, will you be my drag daddy? And I said, no, man. I've been retired for a very long time. I have no interest in this shit anymore, man. And they asked, and I said, you know what? Fuck it. So I came back out of retirement, not just to help and work with Kiki Babs, who's a fantastic performer, who's neurodiverse, and who unfortunately is one of those people who just doesn't get given the respect or the platforms to showcase their talent. I came back out of retirement to really push the whole world of all of those people. Those amazing people who've been around for years. Those amazing people you don't see on these stages. Those amazing people who are all equally valid. So this sort of brings me towards starting Haus of Cymru. We got all those people and we put them all in one place because of strength in numbers. And look, if venues are not going to give us the gigs and they're not going to give us the platforms, you know what we're...
Nope. So I think you've frozen. Oh, sorry, you cut off there. My screen froze.
Oh, was it me that cut off? Oh man, I'm so sorry. Where did we get up to?
You just said about forming the Haus of Cymru and bringing everyone together.
bringing everybody together, because genuinely, if they're not going to give us bookings, if they're not going to give us a platform, if they're not going to put us on their stages, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do it ourselves. And not only does that mean that all these great people within Haus of Cymru are finally getting the platforms that they deserve, but also we can give these platforms to other people, man.
Yeah.
So you'll see, we have pushed this. We are working with trans people. We're working with people of color. We're working with everybody. Look, if you're a drag performer in Cardiff, if you're trans, if you're non-binary, if you're a person of color, if you're anything in between, if you want a platform and you want people who are going to believe in you and who want to push you and push your art, hit me up, guys. Honestly, we are always looking for amazing new talent to work with and help.
Interestingly, the first time I met Kiki was also at the Golden Cross at that same event. But obviously our paths didn't cross then until, as in me and the Haus of Cymru, until later on in the year. So for those who don't know, what is a drag house? What's their function?
We're a bit non-traditional with it. So basically a drag house is where you kind of adopt your little drag kids, and you basically help and support and nurture them so that their art is truly amazing, and you kind of help them throughout their career, and then you kind of adopt another one. You end up with loads and loads of drag kids. As you know, I've got like 3 or 4 7-foot drag queens, which, to be fair, shitting those girls out of my ass, man. My hemorrhoids are terrible, seriously. But in terms of Haus of Cymru, we're not just, up and coming performers with somebody kind of trying to develop them. We're a mixture of everybody. We've got baby queens who are inexperienced that we're trying to develop and help. People like Feels Like Seven, Chloe Von Schuss. We've also got established queens who, for whatever reason, maybe weren't being nurtured or supported by either their existing drag family or, to be honest with you, just weren't getting any work out of local venues. So we have Kiki Babs, we have Tammy Paxton, we have Chlamydia, who's amazing. And yeah, 100%, we're trying to push the drag king cause. Of course we are. So we have people like me, like my spouse, Rider All Night, who you may remember from the Wales Millennium Center recently. And we also have people like Amber Verona. Now, I don't know if you've heard of Amber Verona. Amber Verona was literally the best AFAB queen you've ever seen in Cardiff, years before Victoria Scone even came along. And they just couldn't get a grips with her as an AFAB queen. So she became a drag king. She performed as Max Decadence, and they performed as Kit Hulu as well. Now, again, they weren't getting the platforms because, lo and behold, drag king. So we brought people like that on board, even though they're retired. We want to pull them out of retirement, and be able to show people, look, guys, this is what amazing talent can do.
And so obviously that's the showcasing the talent is how this sort of mini tour, this Haus of Cymru tour, has started, and which I've been lucky enough to attend 2 of the events. So starting with the first one in Bristol, headlined by Nita Wiglet, how was that experience like? How did that event go for you?
Went pretty well, to be honest with you, Rhys. Anita's great. I managed to drag them up on stage and sing Bohemian Rhapsody with me, which, as we all know, is my signature song. They were a good sport. They were fun. They did a great performance. Everyone loved it. And we've got to give platforms to people like Seven, Feels Like Seven, the Brazilian bombshell. My God, I love Seven. Seven got to perform with a major queen in a major venue. Small Willie Nelson we worked with as well, who works with the Brizzle Boys. Small Willie Nelson again, local king. Yeah, got to share a stage with somebody amazing.
Yeah,
and that's what it's all about.
It's sort of So I suppose that mixture of, like you said, the house is about showcasing not only new talent but already existing talent, and that's what your shows have obviously been doing at the same time, which is amazing, which is fantastic. And obviously we need more of those sorts of groups and communities to do the same thing. So amazed by the talent I've seen at these events so far. And then, I recently attended a Haus of Cymru show in the Millennium Centre, and you were kind of missing from that event, but there was this unusual ghost in the evening. How did that event in Cardiff go?
Well, as you are aware, on Tuesday that week, I actually died. I died on stage at Main Stage Cardiff. I handed out gift bags of shit to people that were there. Basically, I was kind of illustrating a couple of points there. Don't worry, it wasn't real shit. Yeah. I know I'm not that bad, I promise. It was little fake poopies in little gift bags, which I thought, fuck me, that's going to be funny. So I gave them all out to people. Not everybody thought it was funny, believe me. Some people were quite upset about it. But take my word for it, I ran this past Mark Schofield at a buffet, whose venue it is and whose contest it was before I actually did this kind of stunt, because I'm not an asshole. Okay, it's not about me. I decided to leave because honestly, the reception I was getting and the amount of aggravation was just horrible, and the bullying was just horrible. So I just had to leave. But I made a good point of saying support these other contestants.
Yeah.
Because the way you've been with me, I don't want to see you being this way with all these kids that are up here trying to seize this opportunity, because that's just not fair, guys.
Yeah.
So anyway, as you're aware, I died. Because I died, I couldn't perform at the Wales Millennium Centre. Yeah. But unfortunately, my ghost could.
And so the ghosts was obviously hosting, as you did in Bristol, the ghost did in Cardiff. How was the experience of performing with the incredible Charity Case? What was that experience?
Fucking loved it. Fucking loved it. Love that guy. Absolutely top person, man. Top person. But then, believe it or not, I'm actually massively into alternative drag. So a lot of people go on about RuPaul. I'm like, fuck RuPaul, man. Boulay Brothers all day long. Come on. You know, if you want to get me excited, I get excited by people like Dolly. I get excited by people like, I have this really good friend called James Majesty. I don't know if you know him. He's very famous. James was actually the first non-RuPaul queen to do a European tour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this was a fair whack of time ago, guys. So, you know, he's a top guy. He was in Dragula Season 2. People like him excite me. Yeah. People like Victoria Black excite me. People like Cheddar Gorgeous, Manly Mannington, like, oh my God. And if you want to see something really fucking sexy and exciting, check out my buddy Romeo Dela Cruz, because he's doing some amazing shit out there. Those guys get me excited, yeah? So being able to perform with Charity Case was just absolutely the best experience ever for someone like me.
And you know, as a viewer, as a person who, you know, I personally do enjoy Drag Race, but to see that sort of other side of it's, you know, Drag Race focuses a lot on fashion and lip syncing, which, you know, can be important skills, but can get after probably on the 5th season, you do kind of go, yeah, and what else? And seeing Charity do, which was probably one of the most unique lip sync performances I've ever seen, was, yeah, you know, it's fab that we're seeing representation on TV, but we can still do better. We can still do more. We can still, you know, there's so much more to do. So on that note, then, I suppose, what advice do you have for people who are looking to get into drag, especially becoming a drag king? What pieces of advice do you have for them?
Honestly, the drag king community is pretty darn friendly. Okay. So you're in an advantage straight away, kids. Genuinely have a look at the history, have a look at the history of the art. Decide who you want to be. Don't rely on other people telling you what you should be. You do you, man. You be you. Yeah. Make your own destiny. We're not there yet, kids. I'm so sorry. We're not at the stage where we're all going to get loads of gigs from loads of venues. We're just not there. Make your own. Make your own destiny. If you've got a friend who wants to do drag them into it with you. Find a venue. Ask them to put on a drag show. Sell tickets. Make your own shit happen. Go online. Use TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube. You name it. You do it, guys.
Yeah, because obviously the more representation, the more, you know, the more chance of sort of drag kings and alternative performers being put in places that would traditionally not book or not provide those opportunities.
Absolutely. And I will be honest, some of the most exciting shit right now in the whole of the world of drag in this country is coming out of QIPOC drag kings. Romeo Dela Cruz, Manly Mannington, you know the names. Come on, check these guys out. They're amazing. Pocket Rocket.
So finally, I want to just ask, if people stay up to date with you and the Haus of Cymru, where can we find out what's next?
Well, we're going to be a little bit busy. So you're going to be seeing us popping up all over Gloucestershire, Birmingham, maybe occasionally in Wales, but I think we might have been cancelled all over Wales. I'm not sure. Swansea might be good. Anyway, you're going to see, you're going to see us every now and again in Wales. You're going to see us popping up in Gloucestershire, Bristol. You're going to see us in Birmingham. You're going to see us kind of creeping into Manchester, Brighton. We're going to get our little feelers in there. What we're going to do next year is we're going to hit the country hard. We're going to get all the local performers who are not getting stages, and we're going to put them on a stage with us. And we're not only going to put them on a stage with us, we're going to put them on a stage with a ridiculously amazing performer so that they have this amazing experience of being able to work with these guys and really be able to push their profiles. It's all about giving back. So, for example, we're doing a show in Birmingham on Friday, the 3rd of November. Funnily enough, guys. Tickets in my bio, by the way, on Instagram, Nicholas Hoare Drag Official. Anyway, we're going to be doing that with the one and only Ms. Cracker, who is one of the biggest names in the whole wide world of drag. When we do that, we're going to be bringing a local drag king called Raphael Ho. He's going to be working on it with us. And also a local non-binary drag performer called Ivy Profane. As in profanity, ibuprofen. So they're going to be working on it with us too. And we're also going to have the gorgeous Chlamydia from Gloucestershire, one of our new performers at Haus of Cymru. The gorgeous Kiki Babs, as you know, going to be coming up with something insane. And we're probably going to have the gorgeous Rider All Night. Now, the good news is I'm going to be alive for this one.
Amazing. And in terms of staying up to date, there's an Instagram, Haus of Cymru Instagram.
You got Haus of Cymru's Instagram, you got my Instagram, we got Facebook, we got Kiki Bags, we got Rider All Night, you name it, guys. You find us on social media, you're going to get all the information you need.
Oh, fabulous. So that's all the questions I have. So I want to end the same way I started, just by saying thank you so much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me.
My absolute pleasure. And can I just drop a few names?
Yeah, push it. Yeah.
Cardiff, if you want to get some amazing performers, you see Chain with a C, yeah? She's selling shots to the Kings. Give her a fucking chance on stage, man. See Haus of Cymru, yeah? Fucking amazing. Give her a stage. You see Ali Balmer, yeah? Fucking amazing. Give her a stage. Come on, Cardiff. What are you waiting for, man? If you don't do it, we're going to do it together.
Oh, fabulous. I just want to say, while we're recording, and on a personal note, I just wanted to thank you guys and the Haus of Cymru for obviously giving me the opportunity, even though I'm not a drag performer or that sort of stuff. You still invited me to the event.
Definitely could be.
Thank you very much.
But just a bit of glitter in the beard, baby. Nice big eye. Oh my God, I would tap that ass myself.
But I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to not only attend but photograph and meet you guys and meet the acts. It's been so amazing to have the support of you guys. So thank you so much.
Always, buddy. You can come to all our events whenever you want. Don't forget, we got DragCon next year, guys. So 2024, Haus of Cymru, we're coming at you.
So thank you very much, and I shall speak to you soon.
I look forward to it, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.